I have a legit, like, Joe Dirt here, dude. Look, I have a black eye, but what happened was I took a shower and didn't wipe my makeup off first, so that looks like I got fucking socked. It's alright though. I look, I was kind of retarded no matter what. So there's no consequence for anybody. Why the fuck are Native Hawaiians being not have any housing? What the fuck is the deal with that? It's like the third story I've seen this week about them either not getting housing, getting fucked over for housing. This guy here, he complained about it, and you know, as he should, right? And now he's getting all sorts of attacks for it because he hurt somebody's fifis. He I think what he didn't do anything bad. He just said that it's like you know, that something, you know, the devil does. And I think what triggered them isn't that he, you know, related someone to the devil. It's that he said the devil at all, because they hear the devil and they think, oh, he must be a Christian. And I think that's what triggered them. Same thing like we've seen with these other guys, you know, that I've talked about. Mafala last week, same deal. There's this real push for anti-Christian sentiment in this country that it's fucking insane. Like it feels like we got here overnight, but we didn't. You know, in a completely unrelated but related thing, Shazam star Zachary Levi came out. All he did was answer. If someone asked a question, like a poll about, do you think Pfizer's a good company? And he was like, no, it's not. You know, look at their history. So people started freaking out, of course, because most people are under this way of Satan. So they look the boot of these big corporations because, you know, Satan. And then they started talking about how he's a Christian. Not even anything about him doing anything bad, but just the fact that he's a Christian. I was like, oh, he's one of those people. I forget what they said. It was like Chris Pratt. They brought up Chris Pratt. It's like the thing everyone always accuses Chris Pratt of, this guy actually is. Like, people say Chris Pratt is a Christian, but I guess it's not, you know, not completely confirmed or whatever. But this guy is. So he's a bad man. Like, it's gotten to the point now where if you evoke anything that has to do with Christianity, the devil, God, you're the bad man. It's like, wow. It's good though. It lets you know who the real bad people are. It's not us. Imagine that though. We're at that point. It's been like at the point where Christians are ridiculed. And I just use the word Christian like a follower of God, a follower of the word of Christ. You know, anyone that has any kind of belief, just in that religion though. You can have any other religion, you're fine, you'll be celebrated. But it's been on a level of mockery for a while now, and now it's just outright hatred. Like, you're vilified if you're a believer. That's just so weird. It's so weird. And that's just that's how it is. And like most all social spaces, like online. But that's just understood that if you follow God, you believe in God, or anything that has to do with that, you are the bad guy. That's fucked up. You know, so Satan's got the luck. 100%. He always did. I mean, it's his place. You know, this is his house, his fucking rules. But people used to. You know what? I gotta bring it back to the Trump spell. That Trump spell. Wow, did that fuck people over? Because what it did is it made a lot of guys. It brought up how much they hate their absent father. And for women, it brought up how much they hate their abusive stepdad. That's sad, right? Of course, those are both bad things. Not nice to have an absent father or an abusive stepdad. But he became that. He became that for them, and that's why they hate him. And the hate for him made them go all in on whoever was opposed to him. It was an enemy of my enemy is my friend thing. So big corporations, big tech, fucking Walmart, the entertainment, media in general, they all hate him. So they have to align with them, and that's Satan, man. He runs that shit. He has a lock on all that stuff. So with almost one fell swoop, you got all these people now in Lucifer's army, 100%. And if you're not in Lucifer's army, they're going to give you a hard time, and we see that all the time. It's fine. It's all going to be fine. You know, it's not a problem for us. If anything, it's a good thing for us. It marks those who would be a danger to us. Unfortunately, it's like 80 to 90% of people out here, but but it's at least they mark themselves, you know. And I mean, I can, you know, the masks help too. You know, I see someone with the mask, and I'm like, that guy would call the cops on me for anything. You know what I mean? If God forbid, and it probably will happen, one of these ridiculous kind of lockdown scenarios happen again, and I have a visitor over my house for any reason, you know, delivering medical supplies to a sick person, they don't care. They'd call the Gestapo to report me. You know, and cheer if I was dragged out of my house. You know, it's fucked up. What are you gonna do though? You know, it's good to know. You know, it's good to know. But I just thought it was weird, like in the local political situation here, whenever a guy slips up and reveals that he's a believer or a follower, or you know, even just using like terminology, he's suddenly marked as a bad guy, and they swarm on him, you know. Yet that's what happened with Mafala too. I mean, they just say, you know, it's fucking weird. That's where we are though. We've gotten here. It's the end. It's the there's not much road left. You know what I mean? There isn't much road left till we get to the end of this whole thing. And it's fine. I mean, whatever. I'm ready for it. You know? Just make sure you practice your shields. Your shields. Your +7 healing bolt. Because the healing bolts, you know, are going to be used like... Because if you're like... If someone's demonically... you know, possessed, or it's a demon or something, healing is like a weapon to them. You know, it's opposite Friday with these guys all the time. I was talking to someone about that too, how someone's bringing up a point about how you have to reverse shit for it to make sense in this world, and I'm like, yeah, I fucking say that all the time. Reversing things, because things are going to be given to you pre-reversed. Because that's the satanic thing. It's so gay the way they do that, but everything is like, look, I'm in the mirror. It's like, all right, we got it. But yeah, most people are under the sway of the beast, you know. And I used to hear about this years ago, and I couldn't conceive of it. I'd be like, well, how would that happen? You know, what is he fucking... Is he giving out candy or something? Like, what the fuck? How does he get everybody? Almost every... Because, I mean, it even says this in holy books, that he would have almost everybody. He would have almost everybody. And I used to think, well, that's impossible. People generally are good, and they want to do good things. But They made the difference between good and evil so gray. They made it so wobbly that you think you're in the right, but like you're not. And we've seen, especially since like 2020, we saw how easy it is to control most of the population. So the idea of Satan holding sway over most of the population isn't so crazy anymore, because it's happened. It's happened. We're there. We're there. You know, we're there. The values people have, the things they think are important, are all material based. It's all carbon. 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. That's the makeup of carbon, you know. God, buddy, you're gonna hit me anyway. I'd rather have them go, because I don't trust any of these motherfuckers to do the right thing or to know how to control their automobile. Most of them don't. So usually when I get to a situation like that, I just want them to go ahead, you go. No, you go. You go. I can talk to people like they're children. That's just my mentality. That's just what, you know, it sucks. Like, I feel like sometimes that I'm losing like a bit of my humanity, because I have that ignore policy where you just gotta fucking ignore people. And earlier today when I was out doing a video, I walked by a couple of people that were trying to get my attention that I just kind of blew off. But I had to. You have to. You know, because you know you're gonna get involved with some nonsense. And sometimes I do feel bad, like, just, you know, it's not how I want to live my life, but you have to. So, like, you know, I was at home screaming to Nia about it, like, I fucking don't like it. But here's the deal, what I came across, what I came to, is that if you're a male, and you're under the age of 65, and you're a stranger, why the fuck are you talking to me? Don't talk to me, you know, and I'm under no obligation to be friendly with you about anything, because most of the time, if you're looking to talk to me, a stranger, you want something, or you want to involve me in some kind of fucking nonsense. You just do, you know, and that's the bottom line. And I know this because I live in a little thing that I like to call the world. So I know how this happens, and I also have this other little thing I would call life experience. You know, I have run-ins with people. I you know, and if they end a certain way, a lot of times I kind of, you know, after a while, what are you gonna do? You have to, you know. And now, I've been around 50-something years, right? 52 years. Now, I can't tell you how many times, well, I can tell you, 0 times, where I go up to a perfect stranger and I want to interact with them. Never. It doesn't fucking happen to me. It doesn't. Now, if it's an old lady that needs help, a young girl that needs directions, so just like even a dude that's a tourist with his wife, hey, where is it? That's all fine. You know, I'm not a fucking complete asshole. But if it's not that, I'm not going to answer you, because I know you're just trying to get me into some fucking bullshit. And it sucks, because sometimes I may be legit. Like, there was this homeless dude that was selling some stuff set up on a wall, and he's like, oh, I'm all original art, look at my art. You know, I'm like, would it kill you to just look at the guy's art? But I'm like, okay, but then if I don't buy something, I may have to fight this guy. I don't want to do that. And I'm on the corner later, and this individual comes up to these guys across the street doing survey work. And he's like, what is this motherfucker doing? And he was the type of individual that usually doesn't like Irishmen. In fact, he hates Irishmen. Blames a lot of shit on us. So like, I just acted like I didn't hear him and just like kept smoking my cigarette, turned the other way. I mean, I could have stopped and told him all about it because I've been a civil engineer most of my life. It would have been, could have told him exactly what they were doing. But I don't think he really cared what they were doing. He was just trying to, I don't know, he felt like talking to some stranger. If it makes me an asshole, then I'm an asshole. I don't know. But like, if you're a male under 65 and you don't know me, why the fuck are you talking to me? Why the fuck are you talking to me? If we're stuck in an elevator, all right, I guess. I'm not looking to talk to anybody out here. Like, why? I don't need to. I'm going about my business. I'm doing things. Now, friendly run-in, or, you know, you're in close proximity or waiting in line. Even then, I don't engage it. I mean, usually, sometimes it's awkward if you don't. You know, like if you're in a tight space and it's just you and the person. I do that. You know, like if I'm near my house, like walking around. Or like I'm on a, you know, really small sidewalk or whatever. I'll, you know, I talk because it's like, it's weird if you don't. That's when people don't want to talk then for some reason. They clam up really quick, you know, walking on the very thin sidewalk in my neighborhood. No one around. Just me and this other person. I don't want to, I'm not looking to make a friend, but, you know, out of courtesy, because it is awkward, we're walking within inches of each other, I'd say hello, or good morning. Yeah. That's a good thing you did that. He really got far too, he got right there. So like sometimes I'll say, like, you know, you say hello, but and that's some people don't want to talk to. They're just like, what the fuck are you talking to me for? It's weird. It's weird. I run out of patience with it. I just don't have time for it anymore. You know, but it's tough because I've never liked that. But I became like that. You know, it took a while because usually it's like, oh, this person's just friendly. They just like talking to strangers, you know, whatever. And say, oh no, I don't have any money. No, I don't have any cigarettes. No, I don't want to buy drugs. No, I'm not selling drugs. No, I don't want any for free. No, I don't want to go to your friend's house that has some. No, I don't know anyone that, you know, and then you go through the battery of bullshit. You know, why are you talking to me? You know what I mean? Like I said, like, you know, older people, young ladies, families, that's fine. If you're asking questions about something, especially here, it's, you know, it's a tourist area. Sometimes you get people that just, you know, I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. But yeah, if you're under 65, right, and you're a dude, why the fuck are you talking to me? Outside of like, hey, how you doing? Or nice day. That's fine. But fucking total strangers come up to you and want to have conversations with you, and it's usually bullshit. And anyone that's calling you from the fucking the wall on the sidewalk, or they're calling you from wherever, they just want something from you. 100%. 100%. So I've had to adopt the ignore. My ignore is pretty strong. It's pretty good. Like, I will walk inches from someone's face and act like I don't hear them. And you have to do that. And sometimes that alone will get a bad reaction. Like, then you may get it. But the thing is, with crazy people, and that I don't like to use that word, but you know, I think it sums up the kind of people that would want to conversationally ambush you. I just don't have time for it. I don't have time for it. There's no reason to just approach me on the street and want to talk to me. It's you know. Am I letting on? I've kind of had it. And I get it. It sounds a bit like an asshole. That's okay. I'm an asshole. You know, through life, a lot of times I'd be like, well, you know, you just want to be cool. You know, how come someone can't be cool or just be cool? I don't give a shit about being cool. Because being cool is 99% of the time acquiescing to someone's complete nonsense. So yeah, today with my wife, I came upon the policy that if you are a male, 65 and under, why are you talking to me? You will be ignored, and that's it. And if someone thinks I'm an asshole, good. Then they won't talk to me again. Although they will. You know, people have no shame. They have no idea of personal space, or that, you know, they just, you know, whatever. You can't really prepare for that kind of thing because you don't know. I mean, how fucked up and desperate is the individual? A lot of fucked up and desperate individuals around here now. Sadly, it was never that way before. Certainly not when I moved here, and certainly not when my wife grew up here. She describes a much different place. One where there was a lot more partying and stuff like that, but it was also a lot less violence, you know. They had more of a club scene, you know. They didn't have the cops running around all the time. You know, there were troublemakers, of course, but not like this. There wasn't like violent assaults all the time over nothing, or murders or whatever. And I'm still trying to connect this uptick in violent crime to all these new residents we have here. And then I see something like what I've seen like 3 times this week about Native Hawaiians not being able to get housing. And you're like, well, then who's all this housing going to? Who's getting this housing? If they're not, it's their land. It's not even the case of like, it used to be their land. It still is their land. They're being occupied. There was never, they never annexed this place, officially. It's just an occupation. It's an illegal occupation that's been going on, still going on. There are assholes in that community that speak for the average Native Hawaiian person that has no fucking ability to negotiate on their own behalf. You have these fancy guys who get the fancy pants to make decisions for the rest of the people that have no chance, you know, and they can't even get a roof over their head. It's like it's their fucking homeland, man. This is their home. This is their home. You want to occupy it, fine, but don't be filling up housing with people from Philly and LA. And I think that's what's happening. And then we see this giant crime spike. We see a lot of displacement due to COVID. A lot of islanders, there's some Native Hawaiians, and but certainly a lot of islanders had to leave, and they went over to Las Vegas, a lot of them, or somewhere else on the mainland. And Native Hawaiians obviously can't get the housing, but the housing's there. So who are they giving it to? Do the Native Hawaiians not meet some kind of quota or something? They don't check enough boxes to get this housing? Is that something that's going on? We're going to figure it out. It's only a matter of time. And I'm not even working really hard on that. I'm just keeping my eye on it. And when I see all this 3 stories in the news this week about the trouble Native Hawaiians are having getting housing, that's just like, that's another thing on the board that I tie a piece of red string to. There's something there. I mean, you know, obviously. And normally, I mean, it's horrible what's happening to them, but the beast does that to everybody. Where it becomes a larger concern is when you see almost a fucking 50% spike in violent crimes, assaults, murders, you know, shit that just never happened here until the COVID displacement. I'm tying it right to that time. The data shows that it can be narrowed down to the 2020, 2022. Well, I mean, that's when the spike in crime happened, those 2 years. But what I'm trying to do is line up the replacement of people to that time too. Even if a lot of Native Hawaiians, even if a lot of Native Hawaiians didn't have to leave the island, if they're out living in a community in the woods, you know, they can't really be counted, right? I mean, that's not part of the data. That's just how the beast works. He'll just fuck you over and fuck you over and fuck you over and fuck you over. He does it to everybody, though. You know, he does it to everyone. It's just what's happened to the Native Hawaiian people is just fucking extra egregious because it's happened so slowly, and it's still happening now. You know, in America, it's like, yeah, the American Indians gave them all, they put them all on reservations. Awful. They let them have casinos now, which is nice, but that was kind of it. Here, it's just a slow motion humiliation. And now your occupier is bringing over people from his land to fill up houses that the people of this land, the Kingdom of Hawaii, should kind of get a first shot at. The fact that they have to jump through all these hoops anyway is kind of crazy. When the people that come here to take these spots in these housing, they worked that all already. They didn't come here and have to go through all the stuff that some other people are going through. They wouldn't have arrived here unless the housing was worked out. I could go on and on with this thing, and it's, you know, I'm circling it right now. It's getting closer. It's getting to a more solid kind of theory. But we have a time frame, and we'll get there. When we figure it out, though, all we can do is say, yeah, that sucks, unfortunately. I mean, there's nothing you can do. But at least it'll give you something to think about when you feel bad about something. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.